There's a single saying, the only thing we need to do, the only spiritual attainment we need, the only thing we're here for is to know ourselves. The concept of knowing ourselves takes a lot of different forms. Everyone believes something different about what their self is, whether they're their body, whether they're their personality, whether they're their likes, their dislikes. There's many, many definitions of self, many, many things, characteristics of self. However, we can never be our body. You know, our body's from something else. Our body's something temporary. Our body's something that changes. The same with our personalities. Our personalities change. You know, once we were babies, then we were children. We had certain likes, certain dislikes. Then we were adults. So that's something always evolving too. Underlying it all, though, the thing that makes us what we really are is our mind. You know, something beneath our personality, something that our personality uses to solve problems, to think about things, or to feel certain ways. So underlying everything then to know ourself would be a journey into finding our mind, finding exactly what that is, part of ourself that we tend to believe we possess instead of believing that we are. We see our mind as our thinking or our thoughts or attached to feelings of suffering in our body, when in reality, these are the things that the mind exists in, you know, and we're stuck thinking, you know, what we are is the external stuff or the thoughts or the crazy stuff. Never thinking that it's this underlying nature of ourself, you know, our mind. What is the mind? There's a lot of definitions of the mind, and I'm going to be sharing some information from a book I'm reading in regards to it's taking you almost like a journey into the mind, into deeper levels of a mind that we all have, that's underneath all our personalities, that's underneath everything. And I'll read you a couple of sentences, and I figured as I start putting some of these into practice, trying to meditate just a few minutes on, I'll give you the information and then I'll let you know what I'm speaking of. This way of training is very special. Its temporary purpose is to make our mind progressively more subtle and therefore more peaceful, to reduce our delusions such as anger and attachment so that we can solve many of our daily problems. However, the ultimate aim of this training is eventually to realize directly our continuously residing mind and thus attain enlightenment quickly. The continuously residing mind. It's supposedly the essence of this is, you know, those that believe you die and go somewhere else, whether it's reincarnation, whether it's you die and go to heaven. That would be likened to this mind. It would be a mind that travels with you, that's with us right now. You know, that will travel to heaven, that will travel to another life, etc. You know, with this concept, and this is going to be new to me, not the information, but the actual practice of it, and that's something that I'll be sharing here. It's very new to me, and, you know, I'll go through it with you as I start progressing with it, and we'll see what it comes, because one of the concepts that I love is it's don't believe a thing I say simply because I say it or anyone else believes it or you read it. You know, believe it because it feels right to you, believe it because you try it and see if you get some experience of it. So I'm not taking anything that I'm going to read here, any of the information that I come to think about in regards to it. I'm not going to take it from the value of some sort of truth. I'm going to take it from the fact that I can see, you know, if, you know, the very first stage is identifying our own mind. There's 6 stages to this practice. The first one's identifying our own mind. And then the second part of that is realizing our mind directly. So in identifying our own mind and realizing our mind then directly, where we have a direct experience of what we really are, or underlying all this, it's going to make us more peaceful. It's going to help reduce our delusions. It's going to make us more patient, more kind, less attached to things, if it's true. So by doing the practice, by trying some of these meditations, which I'm going to be trying, on a daily basis. And what's kind of exciting is you read some of this information, uh, sometimes just having a focused mind for 2 to 3 minutes on one of these levels of mind actually create such reverbs in your daily life, if you're able to just get to 2 minutes in one sitting. So I've never done anything formal. I've never done anything with any goals. So my goal to share is going to be, for my own self also to try it and see what the effects are, and then share them with you. Uh, the third one, just to let you know, is identifying our subtle mind. And this is a mind, in other words, when we learn to identify our gross mind, the mind that functions here, the mind that before we think, the mind that's aware of things, there's a mind even deeper than that, more peaceful, and it's called our subtle mind. And then just below that would be realizing our our subtle mind directly. Meaning, first we start understanding our subtle mind, then we meditate on that, and then ultimately have a direct experience of what our subtle mind is, and what appears to it. Because right now our gross mind, this all appears to it. This appears to it. This video is being made because we all have a gross mind, and things appear to the gross mind. Subtle mind has a whole different set of appearances, and things appear to that mind, and that's just a emptiness-like space. So that would again be within a meditation, and it's a state of mind that we all have, but we don't access. The fifth one would be identifying our very subtle mind, and then obviously realizing our very subtle mind directly. So just based on these three minds and then realizing them, can come a lot of things. And according to these teachings, it would be the equivalent, if people believe in enlightenment or believe in liberation, it would be the equivalent of just a few years. And I also believe that it could be even quicker based upon your effort, based upon, your level of, your level of determination just to try it. Because it's the truth of it is it could be equivalent to 5-10 minutes, a day or here and there, and eventually creating, a great wealth of change in your life. There's a lot of things that bringing patience, to your mind. There's a lot of things that bringing peace, within yourself. There's a lot of things that affects externally, all your relationships. A lot of medicine speaks of how stress causes a lot of the illnesses we have. So, to create something that in just a few minutes, perhaps you have the ability to remove stress from your life. And then the stress that you're creating for those around you that you're not even aware of, that also affects their health, their states of mind. So the fruits of the potential of this and the rapid nature that it supposedly has, the rapid effect that it supposedly has over breaking down the layers of being trapped in form. I know in my own mind, I suffer when my body suffers, but my body's not my mind. No one would think their body was their mind. Our mind's in our body, and it's the same with my personality. My personality is something within the mind, but I use the mind. I'm trapped in the personality, and now that personality is going to try to find mind. And when it reaches what that second level was, why it's identifying your own mind, that's just like taking the time to think and then try to experience what that means when you get into the teaching of it, and then it's actually realizing it. And in realizing it, then that personality starts becoming imputed, or you become mixed with, you start becoming more mind. We realize our mind, and then we realize part of, or a new way of seeing who we are. It doesn't mean we're liberated, it doesn't mean we're free, but it means our suffering starts going like this. And it means our relationships start increasing. It means our resources increase. It's going to have effects on everything. Just saying this, I have no experience of it, so it'll be interesting as the days go on and the weeks go on to see the effect that it has. And I'll be candid with those effects in regards to my personal life, in regards to my financial situations and all. So I hope you enjoyed it, and you'll follow me along.